I bet you've never heard of the fire that actually shaped a city's destiny forever. But that's exactly the case with Chicago and the Great Fire of 1871. Yes, the sprawling, world-class city we know today owes its modern identity to what's known as one of the most devastating urban fires in American history. Let's set the scene. It's October 8th, 1871, a warm and windy evening in the Midwest. The city of Chicago was thriving, but it was also a tinderbox waiting to ignite. Back then, the streets were made of planks, the buildings largely constructed from wood, and even sidewalks were made of the same highly flammable material. Combine this with windy conditions and a prolonged drought, and you have the perfect recipe for disaster. The fire reportedly started in the barn of Patrick and Catherine O'Leary. Legend has it, a cow knocked over a lantern, igniting the blaze. But wait a minute, did you know historians now doubt this tale? The cow story might actually be fiction, spread by newspapers looking for an easy scapegoat. Once the fire began, it spread quickly, consuming homes, businesses, and even some of Chicago's iconic landmarks. But why is this fire such a big deal? First off, much of the city's downtown was reduced to ash and rubble. Over 18,000 buildings were destroyed, and approximately 100,000 people, about a third of Chicago's population at the time, were left homeless. The flames burned hotter than anyone could control and raged for 2 days straight. But here's where things take a fascinating turn. Instead of leaving the tragedy as a scar on its history, Chicago chose to rise, quite literally, from its ashes. New building codes mandated the use of brick and steel, transforming the architectural identity of the city forever. This push for more fireproof materials gave birth to what we now recognize as the modern skyscraper, making Chicago a hub of innovation in architecture. And don't forget, as the city rebuilt, it grew bigger, better, and bolder, becoming a beacon for immigrants, industry, and culture. It went from tragedy-struck to triumphant, inspiring people around the world with its resilience. So, what was once a wooden town sprawling across a prairie is now a global metropolis with some of the finest architecture in the world, all because of one catastrophic fire. The next time you think about Chicago, remember, sometimes, from great destruction comes even greater reinvention. Isn't history fascinating?